Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the American Investor Show. Please click subscribe if this is your first time listening. From trader and CEO interviews to breaking news about companies you won't hear anywhere else, nobody does a better job at keeping you in the know when it comes to penny stocks. The term penny stock generally refers to a security issued by a very small company that trades at less than $5 per share. Penny stocks are extremely risky, yet they offer rates of return on investment not seen anywhere else. The host, guest, and callers are not registered financial advisors licensed by any government entity, and therefore, the following should be considered entertainment. The host, guest, and callers disclaim all liability in the event any information, commentary, analysis, opinions, advice, and/or recommendations prove to be inaccurate, incomplete, or unreliable, or result in any investment losses. Before investing in penny stocks, you should consult a professional to determine what strategy may be best for your individual needs. Now, without further ado, your host, LaSalle Anungu.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Shout out to all the people coming into the chat room, reading this interesting article that just got released today. The #1 tech stock according to money flows, and they're all FANG stocks. And speaking of FANG stocks, F-A-N-G, most of them, all of them practically, were down today, as Secretary Tillerson mentioned he had gotten fired today, and he had learned exactly how most of us learn, by social media. Shout out to people coming into the chat room. This is episode 287. Shout out to the people watching in the future. Appreciate you. Gucci, JT Bullhead, first in. Hawardo, Donzel Essex, Stockafella. Terry Cherry, Eban R. Jeff, what's going on? Jeff, I know you noticed how they really fucked over General Electric. GE really getting shitted on by, I think it was Goldman Sachs put out a report with very negative outlook on GE. Norman Powell, what's up? K-Mac, Dr. Butterfly, hello. Lord Yase, hello. Ordy Buckley, man, Mr. Magnify, Bad Scientist, what's going on? Yeah, I mean, when I tell people that this game is rigged, you know, that's kind of how it is, man. And real quick, and I want to take a look at GE. And, you know, very impressive. I mean, very impressive range that was developing here. Beautiful chart. Let me see what the 21, you had just crossed. Very bullish 21 moving average, EMA, rather, on the chart, getting above that 50 line. I know, Jeff, you had gotten the stock at the low 4s on an option. Probably still made some profit today, but boy, you know, when an investment bank comes out and gives it a very negative outlook, what was that, JP Morgan? It was JP Morgan. JP Morgan analyst came out, basically shitted on the stock, sending the stock lower almost 5% today before closing the 4.44%. But breaking that strong trend that had developed in GE. In fact, let's look at the hourly, where he probably got in, if I could see here, where's the hourly chart? Breaking it back on the 7th, March the 7th. Breaking that hourly chart, MACD cross, 50 RSI cross, beautiful trend, you know, almost $1. You actually did get practically $1 to some of those highs before what we saw happen today in General Electric. So disappointing day. Jeff, I'd love to know if you're still going to hang on to it. If you're still going to hang on to it, or is this, or have you taken the opportunity to sell those calls and move on to something else? All right. Oh, you said you sold. Okay. You sold, looking to rebuy. That's what's up. All right. Dr. Paul, you said you saw it was on the put list on Black Box. Thank you, Ann. I really hope you enjoy that. I mean, it's, you know, using that 1 hour or that daily or that monthly cross, you know, is, especially if you're talking about some of those daily or monthly crosses, using that RSI strategy is incredibly profitable. Incredibly profitable. What's going on, Woody Wright? My calls before we get into what you guys did today. If you didn't see on Twitter, had a really nice gain today in Micron. You guys know I've kind of been bigging up that stock lately. I've been a huge fan, and I am right now just falling in love with semiconductors. I love the way these stocks are trading. I'm loving the liquidity that's in these stocks right now, and I'm all for them. I'm all for them right now, and I'm following them very, very closely. You guys know for me, it's either the 5 minute or the 1 hour. Other than that, I don't want anything of it. And 5 minute today caught Micron this morning as it, fell below that 50 RSI line. Actually, it happened a little bit earlier in the day. And go ahead into my Twitter, and I posted that. Still in the trade. Still in the trade. Thought I'd close it, but still in the trade right now, as I do see the stock is down after hours. Why? Because we had conversation, we had talk today coming out of Washington about Donald Trump instituting more tariffs, looking to institute about $50 billion. I hope that's not right. I hope that's not right. Almost $50 billion of more tariffs to be placed on products coming into the United States. Obviously, news of Rex Tillerson's exit. Those of you guys who don't know, this man is one of the real last globalists left in the administration. He's practically gone now. No, he is gone now. And former Exxon CEO. You had Cohen leave last week. So nobody, besides, what's that, Wilbur Ross? Wilbur Ross. I believe he's a self-made billionaire too. Wilbur Ross. I think he's the last real businessman left. Wilbur Ross. Yep, that's him. Wilbur Ross, 80 years old. All right. He's the Commerce Secretary, but he seems to not really have a backbone in there. But that's really the last businessman in there. That's really the last businessman in the White House. And boy, did stocks take a huge hit today. The stocks take a huge hit today. Shout out to Mr. Dr. Butterfly. MU said made $14.50 at the open. Yes, indeed. I believe that was an option, Dr. Butterfly. And playing cheap stock with lots of twists. Can't sell till it hits. Charlotte, I'm kind of confused with what you're saying. Cheap stock with lots of twist in. Can't tell if it hits one. Oh, okay, you're talking about EFLN. Okay, we'll take a look at that in just a minute. What's going on, George M? Ken, what's up? He said Trump's just a business guy, not a president. Well, I mean, that's, it is what it is. I mean, he told us that, though. He told us he was a businessman. He told us he wasn't a politician. So, what we're seeing out of the White House is very much business. I mean, employees come and go. You fire when individuals aren't performing, or you don't like someone and you're the boss, you fire them. That's business in America. That's business in America. That's what it is. Our job is to simply find those kind of opportunities that come across it. Didn't buy any long-term puts for MU on the hourly. When you're playing an hourly chart, and when it does eventually cross, you see how the MACD, I've seen MACD called a lagging indicator, but as you can see, it'll cross early before RSI crosses into bearish territory. So I don't know if MACD is a lagging indicator, because I've seen that a couple times now, where MACD will cross before RSI. But Micron still holding 21 on the hourly. I love this chart. I love this moving average on the hourly. And if it breaks below it, then you buy the in the money put wherever that's at. So if it crosses, what is that? What's that at? 58, 53. So then I'll probably buy a $59 put and stay in there. That has at least 2 weeks to a month on it, and stay below 21 until, of course, if we cross above it, then I'm out. Because who knows how long that could be. You know, that could be a few days. That might be 2, 3 days, 4 days. You know, who knows how long that could be. This was what, 2 or 3 days back here if we zoom into some of these days. And that's why you want to sometimes participate in those crossovers, because if they do go down, this is a very nice opportunity for you to make some money on the downside when they cross. All right. Then here was a nice fake back above it. You switch back into a put. All right. Yeah. So the hourly, of course, is going to send you a lot more signals. On those videos, you can, of course, go to the daily as well as the weeklies if you're not interested in trading so frequently. All right. So let me know what you guys traded today. Your turn. Your turn. But as I said, I was all about semiconductors, and I will be all about semiconductors, at least for the time being, because there is really no other industry I'm excited about, or I'm seeing the kind of volatility, upside volatility or downside volatility, as we're seeing in semiconductors right now. All right. And by the way, there's, of course, an ETF for that. I think it's SK, or is that SKLM? XKL. Hold on. Let me find some. Let me pull that up here. Let me see 1 second. XLK. XLK. All right. So if you like QQQ, if you love the spider funds, right? There's XLK. If you like the spider XLF, which is for financials, there's an ETF for semiconductors, all right? Or technology, which is heavy in the semiconductor space. And that's ticker XLK. XLK, Spider Select Fund, ETF, all technology. Pulled back real nicely today. Also on the hourly, breaking that. Didn't take advantage of this one, though. And I'll look at that tomorrow. But here's another situation where, you know, would have been a really nice intraday trade. MACD cross, RSI cross. All right. And you stay here with an in-the-money put as long as it stays below the 21 moving average. All right. Or your suggested moving average if it's below it. All right. So what did you guys trade? What did you guys trade? All right. You say you took X? U.S. Steel? Yeah, big loss on U.S. Steel today. U.S. Steel got downgraded, if I'm correct. All right. U.S. Steel got downgraded today. All right. U.S. Steel got downgraded. Did it? Yes, it did. Okay, it did get downgraded on guidance. It did get downgraded on guidance. All right. And you may want to have this website saved, thestreet.com, upgrades and downgrades. I think Market Watch has a better list. Let me see the Market Watch. Let me see. All right, there it is. Let me put this in the chat room. And again, you know, those of you guys who aren't really about these larger cap stocks, you probably could care less. But it's a great way for those of us who were doing that pay trading earlier last year. That might be something you might be interested in. Ken, call me back, bro. I got like one ring on that one. Call me back. What's going on, Legendary 8s? SCHD. SCHD. Schwab. U.S. dividend ETF. Very interesting. What's going on, Ken? You're on the air, man.
Hey, how are you? Yes, how are you? How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Someone made a comment in the chat room just now about FUSC being the stock of the year. My only worry is the Kodiak has some shares to sell. I don't think it's a lot, but Kodiak, and you know Kodiak's a toxic financer, and that worries me.
Yeah, FUSC. You see, you've brought it up a couple times.
Okay.
You know, I think, you know, a year or two ago I'd be all over this, but you know, I'm guessing you see a lot more upside in this. And have you been able to get any new news about why people should be excited about this stock?
I know there was more news. There was some more news today, and the CEO Rory, you know, he has that customer oracle, and he says there's going to be more customers. He's very transparent. He's always putting out videos. The CEO, which I don't know if that's so good or bad. Small float, 43% owned by insiders. Interesting technology they have. So.
All right, what kind of company are they again? I'm seeing here they're labeled as an entertainment, but I think it's something different. I'm seeing some news here.
No, it's
digital
different.
Marketing.
It's different. It's
like a digital marketing agency or something.
Yeah,
like that?
digital marketing.
Okay.
Something compared to LinkedIn's technology. Their technology is better.
Okay.
So, hey, I mean, I know the volume isn't as good as you want it to be, but you know, it's not doing half bad.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's but it's low volume, but guys are buying, and that's the interesting part of it. So.
Right, the MACD is starting to curl positive again, so who knows? Maybe we'll go to 75 short term.
We'll see.
I wanted to go over the SFOR that what's his name? There's a person here chatting. He did really well with it. He's going to sell it tomorrow. That if you look at the 1 year chart, the breakout, you could have used that chart. You got in and made money. I mean, it was not that hard to predict.
Yeah, I mean, let me see here, the daily. I mean, again, beautiful chart, man. I mean, if you're really spreading it out like that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Beautiful chart. If we spread it out back looking at 2017 and what we have of 2018. Yeah, getting it at those lows.
Same month, same period too, the same time period.
Right. Very interesting stock, right. You know, so look, that's how you play penny stocks, and that's how you play these OTC stocks. Finding stocks people love to buy time and time again, buying them when nobody wants them, and being a little bit patient. So congrats to him.
Yeah, really, really cool. Can we go over the RNVA? Your thoughts how it did today?
Well, RNVA, you made the comment yesterday that there could be some more paper out there, and now I'm starting to agree with you, man. I mean, is there more paper out there that somebody has got maybe for a penny or less? I mean, we're less than a penny, obviously, that they're turning into cash? Because I'm looking real quick. I'm looking at the time and sales, and I'm seeing somebody selling blocks, man. Right. When you look up that time and sales, you're seeing big blocks hitting the ask. That tells me, you might be right on that, man, that there might be somebody in there who's just not really interested in seeing this move higher, and instead just dumping big blocks, man. I'm seeing like 40K, 43, 150, 50. I mean, this is big blocks of shares. And sure, the stock is cheap, but when you're seeing that consistent, it's like literally somebody unloading a very large position, that could be what we call as paper. And, and then that's dilution. So very unfortunate to guys who are really looking to see RNVA move higher.
Yeah, definitely. The other one was RXMD. That was the pharmaceutical one. It tried to break to a higher high, and it could not today. It closed lower, so that could be forming a small short-term top.
Oh, yeah, I think it's, as you just said, small short-term top. You still had guys come in and buy those lows. Very interesting candlestick. That means you still got buyers into that. And so tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day to see, what's going to be the continuation here. Are we going south, or are we going higher? So, it's up to the price action to determine tomorrow who's fully in control, because going off those two candlesticks, you're seeing the hesitation, but obviously no clear winner right there.
Good. So it'll be interesting just getting over to the market and how it reacted today. You have monthly expiration on Friday, and one thing that is positive, the 10-year bond, 2.83. The rates are not going over 3%, and we had a CPI figure this morning, so that's positive.
Right. I mean, there's no fundamental change. I saw you like my tweet. There hasn't been any fundamental change to the market or the economy. I mean, yes, he's talking, but I think a slight overreaction today on the news. We saw it happen as well when Cohen that day too as well. If you remember, that was a red day, and the very next day was green again. So I have a feeling,
right, and that was a Tuesday too.
Right, I have a feeling tomorrow we open lower, but then we get buyers come in to take advantage of some of these lows. I mean, I'm looking at stocks like Google. What that candlestick on Google looks like right now as that continues to fight with the top up there. I saw Amazon sell off. I mean, great companies who put up some ridiculous numbers sell off into the news today. And I think that's an opportunity 2 weeks from now, a month from now, we'll be looking back and people are saying, wow, that could have been a great opportunity to buy at those levels.
I think there was a rumor about the tariffs again, 60 billion in tariffs or whatever, and that scared people, whatever.
Yeah, I started the show about that again, and there hasn't again, these investigative reporters with their sources and whatnot, but he hasn't came out to the public and said he's looking to do that. So this was an opportunity for people to take it and buy with it. I'm really looking at what Google tomorrow is going to do, because I'm seeing this as a great opportunity to get in a company with huge monopoly power at a very good discount right here.
Yeah, very good. Have a good night. Thanks,
appreciate
Sal.
it. Thank you, Ken. Shout out to Ken. Appreciate the call, man. Appreciate the call. Thank you so much, Ken. Yeah, look, I mean, this is another opportunity. This is just another opportunity. Obviously we have to see what the price action looks like tomorrow. The markets, Europe is lower. Europe closed lower earlier today. I'm watching the futures market, and right now we're red. So we're going to open up lower if these hold, right? If these hold overnight. And all we'll see is what happens on, tomorrow during the morning. That's all we can do. What's going on, Christopher? Money Bags. Bill Betts, hello. Yes, indeed. Desert Edge. Kenny Dutton, you had gave me that dividend stock. How are you trading that? Is it just simply a long? Obviously, they had a great 2017, right? Great 2017. Then some incredible. Here was that sell-off earlier in February, and it's still been kind of recovering there. Still been recovering there. It's a dividend equity ETF, so obviously I'm figuring it's a fund full of dividend-paying stocks, right? Companies that pay really good dividends. Let me know how exactly you're looking to. What's the strategy around that? You said you've been holding it. It's been great to you. All right, that's what's up. Joe Silva, what's up? You said you made 60% on RAS, R-A-S. RAS up 63%. Yeah, I saw that alert on, I think that was on Blackbots. Again, I was all on the options today. Let me see here. What was the 5-minute on that one? Yeah, look at that chart. Look at that. Beautiful. Here's the 5-minute on RAS. Put again my ET. Oh, look at that. That's a beautiful run. Right? You get the alert in the morning. Wait your 30 minutes. Look for the high of the day. All right. You should get the high of the day within the first 30 minutes. All right, what was this? 9:35. Your high of the day was set, so that was your high of the day. You'd mark it with the trend line, wait for the breakout, and then you would participate in the breakout. And then your moving average line should be developed well enough that you should see it. And that's how you trade it. Somebody had asked me to make a video on how to trade the black box stocks alerts, but that's the gist of it. And they've got a video out there where they say a very similar strategy. But you wait for that high of the day to be set a trend line, wait for a breakout above the trend. Your moving average should already be on the screen, and then you would just basically sit until, and then you probably get a closer moving average to make sure you get out at a higher level. But nice way to trade. A nice stock, by the way, too. Nice way to move, man. All right, nice way to move. RAS, nice play. 210, you're on the air.
Yo, what's up, fellas? It's me, Gerardo.
Hey, Gerardo. What's going on, man?
What's going on? Nothing much, man. I was calling to give an update. I called yesterday with a couple of tickers. Didn't do anything today, and luckily I subscribed to that black box site.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I was just kind of laying back, just watching, and I saw SPEX on the radar there. And I got on TradingView, and I was on the 1 minute candle chart. I saw that kind of bottomed out at the 190s, and I bought in at 203. And I saw I was having trouble with 240.
Mm-hmm.
A couple minutes later, and I got out like at 236, I think it was.
Yeah. Now, great move. I mean, that's how you play that. SPX, I had saw the alert as well, but I mean, it was I believe it was a pre-market alert, right? I think it happened pre-market.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pre-market alert, and some of these not OTC, but these small caps pre-market, they can go really high and then come right back down as we get to the open. This did a great job of it. Ran pre-market, but then still managed to kind of stay high going into the open. As you can see, most of the action was first 30 minutes, and then you had another run into the afternoon. Nice play on SPEX. Of course, I'd love a prettier chart. There were some other tickers that did a lot better for the day. But again, that's a nice move, Gerardo. Nice move.
Yeah, and I wanted to share. I don't know if I wanted to share an indicator that I use on TradingView. Do you use Trading? Is that what you have up on your site there right now?
This is TradingView.
I got an indicator, man. I don't know if you want to take a look at it, maybe just real quick, but it's called Stochastic Momentum Index. I think it's by the user UCS Gears.
Okay. Oh, so it's one of the public library ones?
Right, it's one of the public library ones.
What's it called? Stochastic
Momentum Index.
Okay, by UCS Gears.
Yeah, and you can see if you put up that SPEX 1 minute chart, how I got in and then decided to get out there at the 240. I mean, it just helps, with your also watching while you're watching level 2.
Let me see here.
But
yeah, boy, that's a lot of signals. Yeah, on the 1 minute. I know 1 minute is crazy. I don't know how you guys trade on it. It's just way. All right, so so what's the gist of how does it work? Basically, you buy when it hits the green line?
Yeah, so I usually use what is done in the past. So it's the last dip. I use it in reference to the next dip. Mm-hmm. So if the last dip dipped really low, I know that the next dip will probably be a little higher. Mm-hmm. But the green line is where you buy. The red line is where you sell.
Okay. Let me see. Let me find a stock that did somewhere that had a better move today, so we can see how to exactly. Let me go to a more liquid play. Let's look at like a Caterpillar, and let's go to a higher time frame so you can scratch out the noise.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, the only reason why I use that 1 minute chart on there is just because it was so crazy with that morning. But I usually do the 1 hour and the 5 minute too.
Yeah.
The one day chart is 1 day.
So the idea is to not buy above the red line and then buy below the green line, right?
Right. And then just use the past couple candles or the past couple dips in reference to what it's gonna if it's bullish or bearish.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely would. Yeah, it's definitely something where you're going to want to use with another indicator for confirmation. Because I could see there's some points where it really fucks you up. But I see how it could work. But yeah, you would definitely need another. It actually might work better as a way to find a short more than to go long, honestly.
I mean, I've tried to do that, and I'm like, I don't know how you guys do it. You know, like finding fucking shorts, man.
Yeah. All right, man.
I mean,
Appreciate it, bro.
like
That's
that's
no
a
good
problem,
indicator, man. Thank you, Gerardo.
No problem. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah. I mean, look, that's what's the great thing about using TradingView. And again, it's free. It's free. I didn't ask him if he's using the pro version. And Gerardo, let me know if you're using the pro version or the free version, but you get access to the public library where guys have taken it upon themselves to create their own moving averages or indicators, their own versions of indicators. You know, adding in moving averages, or, you know, they've played around, tinkered with it, and you know, can download them, add them to your chart, and, you know, some guys find one. For example, the colored volume bars here, you know, that's a custom indicator that I've downloaded. All right, that's a custom indicator. All right, let's keep it going. Let's go to your tickers now. All right, let's go to your tickers now. See, FTech. I see somebody talking about FTech. And again, you know what the line is, 305-600-2896. FTech, FTEK, up 36%. Up 36%. Nice gain on that. I'll give it to you. 919, Bats, what's going on?
Hey, Sal, how are you, sir?
Good, man. I saw some of your tickers we just discussed yesterday. Kind of took a bit of a hit today on the news coming out of DC today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, a lot of the stocks that I have, if the SPY is down, which is directly tied into the S&P 500, then those stocks will come down.
Right.
But then guess what? I've got more than a month and a half for these stocks to go up, so I'm not panicking in the least. And
that's what's so great about buying options. Because, Bats, you said you
Correct.
got options on those, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
The one that did well for me today actually was Johnson & Johnson, and Johnson & Johnson is looking really healthy for me. I'm already up 25% since Friday, so that's really nice.
Yeah, there it is. Look at Johnson & Johnson getting above bullish momentum now, back above the 50 line on the daily on Johnson & Johnson. Boy, that's a nice move too. If you've seen here, the last time it crossed above the 50 line coming from a lower RSI level was going back to, what is that, October of 2017? The first time he came from a low. Wow. So, well, yeah, we can go up a little bit closer. It's been a little bit, but what is that, January? So yeah, it's been some time since it's been below the 50 RSI, but nice way to get back into a nice trend that's starting here in Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah, so I'm loving that. My other three are down. I mean, on YRCW, that one's down. Procter & Gamble is down.
Yeah.
And then the last one is SLB. That's an energy stock. That's down. But I'm not worried in the least.
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried, especially about that Procter & Gamble one, man. I think that's still dirt cheap, and that's still got a lot of upside too.
Yeah. So, you're right. So the only problem with picking an S&P 500 stock is if the S&P is down, more than likely, like 90% probability, if you buy a stock that's on the S&P 500, then that one's going to be down. But once again, I'm looking to play these into earnings. I believe Johnson & Johnson's earnings are on the 17th of April. The other stocks I'm into, I think the earnings is either the 20th of April or the 24th of April, so I'm not panicking, not even in the slightest. We had a good move on Tiffany's today. TIS looks like there is a little bit of a proof of life on Tiffany. We have until Friday, so this could be a sub-weekly play that you could try get into before Friday. Looked like it had its first breath of fresh air today, but I'm still not where it should be, especially with, 3 days before earnings, but it had a good move today.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of anxiety here, but guys are buying in expectation that if they blow this out of the water, Batch, this could be, this could be a $3, $4, $4, $5 move if the number is really good.
Correct. So I was looking around, so it looks like this post-earnings bullish reversal, it works with even non-S&P 500, because I know a lot of people on the chat now, on the stream must be like, how come that's all he talks about is just options now? I strongly believe in my heart of hearts that options could actually be a more lucrative way of making money than even the OTC stocks.
Somebody's coming around. I see. Somebody's coming around. There we go.
Yes. I mean, when I listened to your verticals play yesterday, I was like, wow, if I had the 10th of knowledge that you have on this, I'll get there someday. Right now, I'm just into, simple long call options. Maybe I'll do puts, but I was like, wow, if you could do that and, kind of guarantee you a monthly income. Granted, what I'm doing right now is kind of a monthly strategy where you get income, but I was like, wow, if I knew even a 10th of what Sal knows about options, I think I would be deadly in the environment.
Well, I'm just scratching the surface as well. And I'm going to show you guys tonight, toward the end of the show, a strategy that basically is going to be the reverse of what I showed you yesterday. I'm going to show you how to leave, a decision on the table. When you press, enter that trade, your broker literally gives you money. So I'm going to show you how to get a credit for a trade. So walking away from pressing the, send button or the accept or whatever, close, whatever button that is on your broker, how to walk away from there with $700, $1,000, $2,000. I'm gonna show you guys how to do that over the course of
and when I master that, I'll put 10,000 into the trade. Once I know how to master it, then I'll be consulting you big time, Sal. Okay, I've got a separate play. This one is an excellent play. This is Valiant Pharmaceutical VRX.
Oh, VRX, yeah.
I love Valiant because as much as it goes down, it's that type of stock that people will still buy it up. You look at the chart today, it crossed the 8 exponential. The full dollar amount where it's at kind of is near 16. But if you're looking to play this, I'd look to play maybe an $18 call option or $20. I would actually go on to do an out-of-the-money $20 call on this one, without a doubt.
Now, obviously, a $20 call out of the money, you would probably put quite a bit of time on that option. Out of the money, that's wow. That's very, very bullish there on that Batch being at that 18. Let me show you guys where he's saying. I mean, he's basically saying 18. Let me put it right there for you. 18 for the stock to make it, and it can do that. It can do that. This is a stock that, there's some pretty big candlesticks in here. It can move $1 or $2 in a day. We're at 1608. That's not out of the question from 39 on the RSI. So it could very well do that. You've already got 2 days behind you of nice moves there. 1.84% gain today alone.
Exactly. And you notice where we put that resistance right there. That's been hit several times, and that's how I actually work out. I pick a price target that I know has been good support in the past, and then I use that not only as my resistance or price target, but I'm using it. That's where I actually use as my strike price.
Yeah, very little downside risks today going into that as well on that $16 if you were to go here. on that call, right? Very little downside risk. You got a lot of support there in the high 15s and 16s as well.
Love it.
Yeah.
You mentioned X, the steel company. I know it's been downgraded, but all I see is opportunity on that one. So even though it's on a downtrend right now, what you need to see is kind of like the first day's close where it's actually bullish. And then if it's bullish on that day on the daily chart, and if it then looks bullish, whenever it looks bullish on the weekly chart, that's when you should get in. So I'm really actually loving X right now. I like where it's at. Whether it's going to, stay around that $40 mark remains to be seen. But you can see that $40 mark has been a resistance, a few weeks ago on that $40. So I'll be looking for this to start bouncing back. In fact, looking at stocks that go down like this, they'll either start going down with a smaller volume, a smaller candle body, or what you'll get is kind of like a bullish charami where you'll get a green candlestick forming within the today's red body. So I'm looking at that. AKS, I went back and looked at it, another steel company. That's the one I made money on from before, but I wasn't doing it as an options play. Man, this stock is predictable. I mean, if past behavior is indicative of future behavior, this thing sells off after every earnings. I'm at a point right now, I don't like to short, but I could sure do a put on this, the next earnings on AKS. Looks beautiful on the daily chart. So if you noticed on AKS, okay, let's go back sequentially from the latest time. We have big sell-off at earnings, which was the 30th of January. There's a big selling off there. Next sell-off, huge as well, was the 31st of October. Go back again. Huge sell-off the 25th of July. And then another huge sell-off before that. So we're talking about almost like 5 or 6 consecutive earnings where this, without a fail, almost like AMD, will sell off. And I'm like thinking, I should wait till the next earnings. And the next earnings on AKS, let me just look at my graph really quickly. The next earnings will be on the 24th of April. So you have just over a month and 2 weeks, 1.5 months right now to plan for that short. But between now and earnings, you can plan to play a call option on that, and that should, make you money to the upside, and then look for the short, look to short it or buy puts around earnings time, just after earnings.
Yeah, it looks like just like the day before, just buy earnings. I mean, just buy some puts and
exactly.
watch you get into the money. Nice. Wow, great call.
Yeah, and I didn't bother to look at AKS because I've been focusing on the actively traded S&P 500 stocks. So these ones tend to be, upwards of 20 million in volume, as low as maybe 5 million. I believe AKS is somewhere between that range, where sometimes it's at 2 or 3 million in terms of volume. So yeah, just look to actively traded stocks. What I like to do now is go to FinViz. If you don't want to screen just by S&P 500, screen just by actively traded stocks, and that will give you 100 of the highest volume in terms of highest volume of stocks for that day would be in that actively traded list. So yeah, that looks good. Last but not least, General Motors. General Motors is looking damn good.
General Motors. Now I know that stock's been beat up here quite recently, but you like it here at these levels.
Most definitely. Definitely. I mean, we just right now it didn't quite. It initially went above the 8 exponential, didn't manage to close above it, but this one is going to be on an uptrend. We have earnings on this coming on the 27th of April. That's when earnings are. So pretty much any of these picks I'm giving you, you have at least 1 month in which to make money. So I would say if you're patient enough, can put a few $100s in there, or if you're confident, you can put $1,000 in there and just hold it. Watch it actually swing round and start going up, kind of like Johnson & Johnson did, and just hold on for dear life, because a lot of this is all about patience. Where amateurs fail is where they're like, they expect, with a day trader's mentality, you're like, oh, it's not up today, or it's down 1 or 2%, I'm out. No. For options plays, you have to actually have the utmost patience.
Absolutely.
For these, especially if you're using this strategy where the stock tends to trade up into earnings. Like right now, I've got a whole month, 1 month and 2 weeks, and I'm not going to panic because I'm very confident in my picks. And let's say maybe after 3 weeks, I'm down or the stock is just consolidating, maybe I'll start to worry a little bit. But remember, all it takes right now, we've got until now and Friday for Tiffany to move, TIF, so we'll see if that moves. If that moves, then essentially what that's saying is that wait until the final day. Wait until the final week or half week before you start panicking and wanting to sell out and close your position. And that's all I have for you tonight, so
absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Bats. I really appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Sal. Love the show. Bye-bye.
Yes, indeed, man. Shout out to Bats. Great call, man. We just went through, 7 tickers or 5 or 7 tickers right there. More than enough, meat to give you there. Some really great options, ideas he gave you. And these aren't expensive stocks. These aren't expensive stocks. I mean, we're talking about, $2, $3 options here, some even less, especially when you're talking about a company like General Motors. I think they're going for pennies. So these are very, very cheap opportunities for you to get in long with a lot of time, very, very cheaply. Okay? Yes, indeed. Yeah, it said GE. Yeah, GE got killed today, man. GE got beat up real hard today. How do I install dividends and earnings icons at the bottom of the chart? That's in your settings, Ricardo. If you go right click, and I think right click, and is it right click? Ah, man. I did all this long time ago. It's in the settings, like in your settings of your chart. And you can put whether or not you want your dividends, you want the earnings, or you can make them disappear. All right. I see a stock we haven't talked about recently, CHFS. CHFS. A lot of people like this stock because it is a very low float stock, up 8.7% today. This is kind of one of those ones where it just kind of needs like a news or maybe even a chat room pump. I wouldn't say, let me not say chat room pump because it's not really. It's kind of one of those ones where if it has news, it goes bonkers. But other than that, I'm not playing it to hold. Nice day though, 8.7% gain on CHFS. What's going on, Kelly Rob? All right. Yeah, Kenny Dutton. It's just not one of my favorite style. I mean, it's just, I'm kind of getting away from the whole guessing game kind of thing. I'm really looking for opportunities where I'm, it's clear. You know what I'm saying? Some of these small caps, yes, there's great, but just getting rid of the guessing game, it's not fun. All right, AQMS. Aqua Metals. All right, so okay, slight little change here. This kind of reminds me of a ticker that I want to talk to you guys about too. I've been looking at some other few small cap semiconductors. I like this on the weekly. This actually looks pretty good. AQMS actually, the volume is but I love the weekly chart. I mean, this could be something interesting. And watching CNBC today, a lot of people put up some interesting commentary in regards to if tariffs were to be more tariffs to be implemented, that we could see a rise in the price of commodities, right? I mean, obviously that would mean that some of the raw materials that many of these companies need in order to produce their products will become more expensive. And the producers, the miners and companies involved in the operation of the extraction of these commodities would, see a boom to their stock. And it's an interesting proposition, and it makes sense. But again, that you go in light, and if it continues to prove itself, then you add in. I'd position in, right? But right now, you got to understand that those Trump tariffs are right now conversation. But these journalists have done a really good job to figure out how, conversations eventually become law for a lot of times with Trump. He eventually ends up following through on a lot of speculation. AQMS, nice weekly. I like the weekly. Bats, you saying buy the $3 breakout? Yeah, I like the weekly. I love the way that's setting up. I'm loving the way the indicators look. MACD crossed back in January, right? I have no doubt the hourly probably got you there a little bit earlier. Oh, look at that. Hourly got you back in on March the 5th. All right, got you in on March the 5th, and you've been holding tight since. So as long as it stays above those levels, or even just, stays above that line, it looks beautiful. As Bat said, you can wait for that $3 breakout. All right, you can wait for that $3 breakout, but you're sitting pretty as it is right now. You're sitting pretty as it is right now. All right. But I could see where he's looking to see this stock break that 3 resistance that got started back in February. All right. Interesting. Speaking of commodities, let me look. This is one of my favorite, MUX, off the top of my head. MUX. Still at some of these lows. Let me look at the weekly. Yeah, not a pretty chart. Not a pretty chart by any means. All right, there's something coming here, though. There's something coming here. But again, not a pretty chart. But yeah, take a look at those commodities. I mean, again, you can't keep your eyes everywhere. But maybe someone who's looking to get on top of a sector, a little early, and you're okay with that, putting a little bit somewhere just to see what happens, that might be, a sector for you. Yeah, Shirley Lewis, good call on that one. AI. Let's see, Arlington Investments. Looks like this is some kind of investment management firm. Yeah, not loving that chart. Where are we at on the weekly? Yeah, this one is also, it's nice, but again, the volume is volume is really, I just think there's probably better out there. And you're talking about multiple year resistance. I'm not feeling that chart. And, what was this from 2016 to 2017? I mean, this is $4. I mean, it's just way too slow. All right. Yeah, if only moves backwards. You talking about Ford Motor Company? Talking about Ford Motor Company? And I was bullish on Ford for a long time, but now we're starting to see some walls being created at these 1078s. I still got some 1178s calls for 2019, and I'm willing to hold. I got, well over 8-9 months left, so still holding. PBR, you said you like Petrobras. All right, we're looking at you guys as tickers now. QSIM. Semiconductor, nah, I don't like any OTC semiconductors. QSIM is a scam. It's a scam. I looked at this a couple years ago. QSIM is a scam. It's a scam. You want to look at a nice small cap semiconductor stock, NPTN is one that I'm doing some research on. NPTN, this is a nice one that they're going to be really involved in the 5G expansion across this country. Their products, are basically what's required to transfer the signals wirelessly for a 5G signal. So I'm looking at NPTN at some really nice lows here as that kind of comes back. NPTN, nice volume, decent volume, about 1.3, 1.2 is the average. Daily's really nice. Love to see the balance sheet look a little bit better, but and the stock, sold off quite aggressively today based on many of the semiconductors did, though. I just showed you across the board earlier in the show. Many of them did. And I like it so far as that's starting to kind of break out of a 6-month ceiling. That was back in November. We set that up. We got November. Then we got some resistance up here back in July. So got some levels that are attempting being crossed here, and that's why I really love the stock NPTN. But it's going to be one that you're going to be patient with, and I want to see it commit above those green lines you're seeing there. All right. Lord Yase, you said you bought Ford 1178's big. Yeah, I mean, it's coming around. It's coming around. It's just going to have to be a little bit patient with it. But Ford 1178, I'm in that for the 2019s. But you're going to have to be a little patient. But right now, it's heading in the right direction. It's heading in the right direction. So just continue to be patient with it. RSI is working in our favor. February, MACD crossed back in mid-February, working in our favor. So it's coming along. It's coming along. Good companies. Great business, low PE. It's not an emerging industry, but once they start really pumping out cars people want to buy, and again, you don't even have to hold it that long. It's just a low RSI, positive to green. That I think is going to look really good toward the middle end of the year. All right. What else you guys are looking at? Someone saying PTI. All right, what was the news on that? Nice move, PTI up 54%. Left a lot of people up there. All right, high of 739 before settling at 638. Cystic fibrosis approval. Yeah, that can definitely send a stock going. That can definitely get a stock going. You said you can't figure out AMD. That's why I don't fuck with AMD, man. AMD is all over the place. We've had guys bring up AMD, and I've given up on that ticker. What is this? I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. AMD is all over the place, and it gets listed with semiconductor. And it's look, they make chips. All right, they make chips, but I don't know if just it can't find a floor. It can't find any kind of real. This is entire 2017 right here. Between 10 and 15, all year. I mean, this is a mess. This is a mess. This is a mess. AMD does well when Bitcoin is up. Well, Bitcoin ain't up now. BGFV, Big Five Sporting Goods. Big Five Sporting Goods. Never heard of this business. Never heard of Big Five Sporting Goods. Is it Dick's Sporting Goods, or am I? Because I'm seeing a lot of news here for Dick's. So is that their parent company or something? Big Five Sporting Goods. Don't know anything about the company? Give me a call. Give me a call. Yeah, I mean, AMD is just, there's just so much better. There's so many better stocks to buy. I mean, why waste your time? There's so many better stocks to buy. ATOM, Atom. It's got a shitty volume. Volume is shitty. 700,000 shares traded today. Looks like it's a new issue. We don't have too much history on it, coming back from September. Not a big fan of these new issues because they tend to have paper that can be released. Like right now we have a Roku situation where Roku had a very tight float from the offering. But what's going to happen is you're going to have about 25 million shares come to the table or come live for insiders to sell at the end of March. So you have a lot of guys expecting Roku to sell beneath that 37s, that it's basically clinging on to life. You had an article come out a couple days ago where it said Roku could go as low as 18, that the company's underestimating, or underestimating publicly that available share amount coming due, and it's actually much more higher. We don't know. ATOM, here's the chart though. Nice day today, up $1. Semiconductor stock as well. All right, so a rising tide lifts all boats. Rising tide lifts all boats, and sure enough, ATOM is beneficiary of what's going on right now in the sector. If you're not, don't have love for a particular company, get the ETF. Get the ETF. Yes, sir, Andrew. Said we have Big Five in California. Okay. All right. Shout out to California hunters and sporting goods stores. I don't know how anybody can afford to live in California anymore. Every week I'm seeing on Bloomberg, little things where they're talking about people living in their cars and people getting evicted, and just it's a tough place to live, California, man. If you're not in like technology or coding, or some kind of software development, it seems like everybody's out there struggling. EYES, Second Sight Medical Products. This is a stock that runs quite frequently. I think the float's pretty tight because, it's got quite a bit of spikeability. And we've seen eyes on the biggest gainer list quite a number of times. You said Cali is expensive as hell. Yeah, a lot of people are leaving Cali, man. I've ran into a lot of people from California over the years. A lot of people leaving Cali, man. Moving to cheaper parts of the country, man. Nobody's got time to $500,000 for, 900 square foot houses, man. Fuck that shit. Trove, TROV, Trove, 23% gain on Trove. Looks like the company announced back in March, or this is March, early March, their first patient who had concluded a cycle of their clinical drug. I'm not even going to announce the name. Cytarabine. So it looks like a company with some drugs under its belt. Obviously, being that they're giving it to a live person, I'm sure the FDA has already given them the green light to do so. All right. So interesting move there on TROV. Up 23% today, 8 cents a share, 8 cent gain. It's a 46-cent stock, and Let me see the weekly on this one. I love these cheapies. The cheapies are good too. Oh boy, yeah, very little downside risk here. Look at that. Look at the weekly on TROV. All right, be careful. I mean, it's fooled you before. All right, it's fooled you before from some of these lows, but nice. That's a nice candlestick developing with this week's price action. And as you see here on the weekly, it's looking to get above that 50 line on the weekly, which it hasn't been back above since, August of 2016. August of 2016. That's very bullish. If you cross that 50 RSI line, that's quite bullish. Again, this is the weekly chart, so this is going to be a stock you want to sit around. Also, being that it's below $1, you're going to have to do some research on how much time left do they have to continue to trade under $1. All right, many stocks have. NASDAQ gives them, a certain limit, certain amount of extensions. How many extensions do they have left to trade under $1? But with that crossing above the 50 RSI line, that could also mean that stock might not be under $1 for very much longer. Do your research. Said everyone's moving to Texas. Yeah, a lot of people moving to Texas. Dallas, Houston. Houston, by the way, got some beautiful homes for dirt cheap. I was looking at Houston before I came here. I mean, I'm seeing some homes for, $300K. 2,500, 3,500 square feet for $315, $330. That's a mortgage of like $2,000, $2,200. That's not bad for that much space. But I mean, just me by myself, I don't need that kind of room. But boy, that's some baller status though. You can really ball out in a state like Texas. KOS, Iconics Group. Weekly's not showing it just yet. Let's see the dailies. Let's get to a smaller time frame. Still struggling even here on the daily. Working it. It's working it. But better charts out there. Indicators aren't showing too much here on Icon. All right. Not too much yet. Nice day though. 4.7%, but this isn't necessarily the prettiest setup here. Not the prettiest setup. Gucci said they have rapper mansions for the Lolo. Gerardo, you said it's cheaper in San Antonio. Oh, okay. Yeah, the only thing I don't like about these new homes is that they're built like matchbox sticks. It's cheap materials, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing about those early like 50s homes, like those 50s homes that in a lot of those older cities, 40s homes, those are built to last, man. Most of them are like pure brick and, had basements and everything like that. They were built to last. A lot of these new homes, man, they're like matchbox sticks, You get a fire and then it's done. It's a wrap. AFPW, aluminum power fuel, OTC stock. You already know what these are, man. These are lottery tickets. OTC 0003, 0002. You already know what those are. Those are lottery tickets, man. You're just gonna have to wait your time, man.
Play me some Pippin, man.
That's all you're gonna have to do, baby. Take your time with it. Put that thing on the stroll and just sit back and wait till it come back with some money. Mainstream, you said cheap materials, cheap labor. Yeah, I mean, that's why they build those houses. Yeah, what are my construction workers in here? How long do they take to build those houses, these new construction? What, a month? 2 months max? About a month, 2 months max. EYEG. And they sell them to the first guy who bought them. The first family, they order their own cabinets, the way the kitchen looks and whatnot. They live in it for a year, 2 years. A lot of those guys who buy the new construction homes, they're smart because they look at them as investments. you know, they're looking at them as investments. So they'll live in the house for a year, 2 years, and then flip it on to the next sucker. You know. EYEG. Another dirt cheap stock. I'm not feeling it, man. Not feeling it. Let's see on the weekly here. Man, this is really beat up. Nice day today. What do you gain today? 6.2% weekly. Ugh, it's really beat up. Daily. Yeah, I'm not feeling that candlestick on today's day. You left a lot of people up there at 73 cents today. Of course, you got that falling window here. Could break out. You know, working it on the daily. So, well, you know, looking at it a little bit closer, this could be something. Position size in. Gerardo, you said about 1 month. Raybo built a 3-bedroom house, completed moving in 2 weeks. Jeez. About 10 acres, trailer home, grow your own food. Yeah. Texas is big as fuck, man. There's some parts of Texas is just, you know, I mean, they're talking about, you know, you go down to those small cities like where you're on like the Mexico border. I mean, these little border towns, they just look creepy as fuck in the movies, man. They look creepy as fuck, you know, where it's like real old school where they got like one police officer and shit. Have anybody been to any of those towns? I've always wanted to, you know, one day just go and visit. Everybody's got like a gun on their side and everything like that. Nokia. I forgot the name of that movie, but it's about these two brothers who try to get their money up to buy their land. I think it was their parents' land. One of the brothers ended up getting killed, but they go to rob the bank, and the people are, you know, start trying to be heroes, man. Forgot the name of that movie. But everybody starts, you know, the town starts fighting these guys robbing the bank. I'm like, fuck that, motherfucker. You should be like, let me help you with that money. Kenny Dayton said, no, don't visit. Yeah, Hell or High Water. There it is. Hell or High Water. Fuck that, man. I'm going to be like, hey, man, let me help you with that briefcase. I think it's Hell or High Water. No Country for Old Men type towns. Yeah, that was a creepy ass movie. No Country for Old Men. That was a creepy ass movie. And my thing is, No Country for Old Men. The whole movie would have been over if you just switched out the briefcase. You know, but I think, you know, at that time, being that it was like the early 70s, you're not thinking about the fact that the briefcase has a tracking device and all that shit. You know. And you got all that money in it, too. I mean, you obviously need something to carry it. OTTV. I'm not a fan of this stock. Not a fan of OTTV. Too much paper, man. You know, I've never seen Brokeback Mountain. All you know, something about, you know, some, you know, white boy getting his cheeks spread. So I'm like, okay, I'm not with that. So I'm not going to watch that. You know, you got to be careful the type of images you put in your mind, man. The mind is very powerful. You know, the mind is very powerful. So I'm not trying to watch any man get his cheeks spread. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I'm good with that. KOS. Let's keep it going. KOS. Man, I got a little anxiety about the market tomorrow. I mean, we're gonna open up down, but a part of me is like, yo, dude, just let's go load up, especially on some of that Google. you know, you already know what that's going to be. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks from now, you already know it. Just look at the weekly, look at the monthly. But at the end of the day, I mean, you never know what this is. I mean, remember back in February, we saw that first day did a red, and then, you know, the next 2 days, they were just huge red days. At the beginning of February, when we had that you know, those strong 2 pullbacks. But again, in hindsight, looking back, those lows were buying opportunities. And I just want to make sure I'm not missing, you know, doing a better job of not missing those. He said, ass is an exit, not an entry. I mean, look, I'm not judging anybody's life. Do your thing, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, you a moist brother. You like, you know, like that, you know, like your cheeks spread. That's your business, bro. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. You know, but if I don't want to see it, it's, you know, you should be cool with that. That's all. But ain't no hate. You know what I mean? Ain't no hate. You know. Brothers want to bust it wide open, that's on you. You know. TVIX. 3.5% gain. 3.5% gain. Now, I'm not trying to be funny with it. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be funny with it, man. But, you know, there's a lot of health issues with that. You know, I remember taking the health class, and you got to be careful, man. You know, besides the diseases, is that you get to a certain age where you're going to have to, you might end up in a diaper. You know what I mean? Because your cheeks have been spread out so much. You know, you can't even decide when to take a shit. You just be walking down, going to get ice cream, and the next thing you know, you just done shit on yourself. You know what I mean? Because your cheeks have just been blown wide open. You know, you can't control whether or not you know, dump on yourself, take a shit on yourself. All right. All right, let's keep it going. Like I said, don't hate, man. All facts for me. I mean, I ain't gonna, you know, none but facts for me. SWN, Southwestern Energy. Southwestern Energy. Oil and gas. You know, gas is taking a hit right now. Crude is taking a hit right now. So I'm not feeling crude right now. I think the market wide. Yeah, we see Exxon taking the L right now. But that's another stock I think Bat said this is a buying opportunity right here. Is a buying opportunity right here. You said the Oz series. Oh yeah, I'm not going to jail. Oh, forget that. Oh, hell no. You know, what's that video with that guy? He's like, I think he's like in Africa or something like that. You know, I have sex with them. I tell them to have sex with me, and I force them. I hold them down. Everybody's seen that video. You know what I'm talking about? I was like, fuck that shit. Man, you might as well just go ahead and take my life. Shit. You know, I'm going to fight every day. You know what I mean? Or I'm going to have a connect just to make sure, you know, buy some protection. You know, hire some of them MS-13 goons up in there, or some of them Allah Akbar brothers. You know, give me some protection, some shit like that. Or I just be the teacher. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll be the, you know, investor teacher or something like that. Because I know those are the guys that, you know, the scholars get protected. Scholars. You know, yeah, I've watched Oz. Who else gets protected in there? the queens, right? Dudes who, you know, like their cheeks spread, and who else gets protected in there? Guys with money, and that's pretty much it. Everybody else is fighting for their life, right? You say you used to live in MS-13 land? You said MU and Netflix. Well, MU, I knew MU was going to go down because MU was overextended. So that's why I was watching MU today. I've been talking about it. I mean, you could see here on the daily, we're at 80 on the RSI. That was going to come down anyway. I mean, that was a pretty easy call on MU. You know, that was a pretty easy call for today on MU. That you know, but sector wide, you saw that you know, it take a hit. You know, Lord Yase, you said you're from Six Deuce Diamond Crip. RAS tomorrow. Let's keep it going. By the way, somebody was talking about that Bitcoin. I was like, man, that Amazon monthly chart. If you look at the Amazon monthly chart, that looks like Bitcoin, man. That looks like Bitcoin right there. That looks just like Bitcoin. You said the big meat types are good. Yeah, obviously. I mean, nobody wants to fight those type of dudes. You know, big ass motherfuckers that look like they can choke you to death. You know, those are the kind of dudes when you see out in public, you just give them the head nod, like, yeah, okay, what's up, man? Don't get too close. Just give them you know, that's it. You know, that motherfucker might be crazy or keep a distance. Just give them the head nod, and keep it moving. All right. That's a scary looking chart on the monthly. Let's look at that yoga stock he's talking about. Yoga works. Yoga works. Don't know too much about Yoga works. You're looking at Yoga works. Yeah, Lord Yase, I only feel that way when I have my gun on me. When I have my gun on me, you know, then I don't give a damn what's going to happen, you know. I'm with it no matter what, but I'm just out, especially when I'm with my family or something like that, you know, got to be a little cautious. Got to, you know, keep your eyes on a swivel. Amazon puts all day short term? Hell no. Man, you know how many guys have killed themselves trying to buy Amazon puts? Amazon's the one stock when you think, okay, it's time for this thing to go down, you are hitting the cover, whether you're short or you're hitting that cover button real fast. Said gang banging in jail means something different. I believe it does. I don't doubt it, man. I don't doubt it, man. There's a guy who makes like videos about how to survive prison and stuff like that. And I noticed it's got like a shitload of views. So guys are either watching it before they go in, or it's a situation where they're just interested in that lifestyle. And, you know, CNBC was it for like 10 years, right? They had a show just talking about dudes in their lives in prison. That was crazy. I remember that show. Inside Lockup or something like that. You remember that, guys? And just talk about life in prison and all that crap. And it was a CNBC. And I never understood that. Like during the day, they'd have everything about Wall Street, and then at night, like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, it'd be this crazy ass prison show. Now it's every night for years. Hell no, I would never put option on Amazon. Not nothing that's going to be like a long term. I mean, he said short term, so you know, if you had a put option like today, yeah, I mean, you would have it for today, or there are a couple of days here that were really rare. That was the first 3 days, 2 days in a row. You know, you don't see too many 2 red days in Amazon, right? A couple here and there, a couple here and there. But for the most part, as you can see on the chart, it's a great opportunity for you to go long and be a little bit patient, and it looks like you do really well. All right. You said call the Vice Lords. Well, look, all that gang stuff, it's not nowhere like it used to be. Now it's too much social media, and the young guys, they don't respect the older guys anymore. So it's not what it used to be. If you talk to any of those older gang member types, you know, they don't even do that stuff anymore. Hey, Bats, is that you calling me? I only got 1 ring, bro. So I don't know if you were accidentally calling me or not. You know, most people now are gang members for social media, especially these younger guys. You know, and I'm not saying like I know anything about gangs or anything. I just watch TV. That's it. Shit. 919. Bats, what's up, man?
Hey, Sal, I wanted to ask you if you knew about this company, REVG, RevG. Just noticed something interesting about it when I was looking through some stuff.
I'm going through people's tickers that they're putting in the chat room, just looking for ideas, and you know, you put one in here right now with this RVG, and I see it's really beat up, right? It's a beat up auto and truck manufacturer. What exactly is this about?
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess it's recreational all-terrain vehicles, something along those lines. But what caught my attention is that the CEO just purchased $2.2 million worth of this at $22.53.
Okay. Well, being with what the chart looks like, I mean that's what he would need to do to kind of show some confidence to investors, because I'm looking at the chart and I don't see a guy buying it because he thinks there's going to be some really huge news down the pipe, but more or less like, hey, I have commitment in this business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Although it is though exhibiting post-earnings sell-off. That very big wide range candle, the first one that's on the 8th, I believe. Mm-hmm. That's when earnings were released, and it's been selling off. Essentially, I think for this one, it's a pity because the option spreads on this one are terrible.
Yeah,
I mean, this one is not something that's actively traded at all, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention because if it does reverse, even with those terrible spreads, though, if it's able to start reversing and then reestablishes the old support of like $26, this is not bad, like, you know, a $4 or $5 gain. So I like to play inside the transactions as well, and yeah, I just noticed that he put $2.2 million into it at the bottom. So yep, just keep an eye on this one.
Appreciate it, Bats. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, Sal.
Yeah, the only thing about buying options with huge spreads and very low volume on those options is that, you know, you're not going to get the meat of the move. So if you go in, the bid and ask is like, the ask is 4, the bid is 250. You know, that's a really horrible spread, and it's going to require a significant amount. It's going to require a huge move for you to find a buyer who's going to want your price when it's time to sell. Or what's going to happen is you can end up in a situation where you actually, the stock makes the move, but the only guy with an open position, you know, is $2 from where you want to sell. And now you're sitting there, your option is pending, you've got a price, nobody's hitting that price. And here you are, you know, eventually having to sell at market, and that market could be as low as, you know, $2 or $3 below what you wanted, because there's just nobody there. because there's just nobody there. You know, got to be real careful with those. So I would just, in that situation, I'd go with straight stock. It's a $21, so it's not cheap, right? But you really don't want to be trading illiquid options. They can really fuck you over if you're not careful. Really fuck you over if you're not careful. All right. So, like I said, it's going to be an interesting day tomorrow. It's going to be an interesting day tomorrow. I know I promised you guys to show you guys that strategy. And basically, it's just a put vertical strategy where you walk away from the trade with money in your pocket. All right. You walk away from the trade with the credit. You walk away from the trade with the credit. Again, the options, like anything else, they have to mature. Right? They have to mature. And you get to a certain, as you get closer to, expiration, you'll see, your maximum profit, or actually it's credited, and you can go ahead and take the trade. All right. I know I'm probably doing a shitty job of explaining, but I think it'll be better when I show it to you. All right. So we're going to do right now, I'm going to show you what a put vertical looks like. That gives you cash at closing. So cash at closing strategy. Let me go ahead and show you guys right now. Let me see if I connect this like yesterday. There it is. Okay. All right. So this is QQQ. All right. This is QQQ, and I love it because it's liquid. All right. You want to do put verticals on very liquid stocks, or stocks that are expecting a move that have decent liquidity, where the spreads are relatively nice and tight, because you would hate to end up in a situation where the money that was said to be given to you is not going to be given to you because there's nobody willing to cover the trade when it's time to cover, right? Or close. Getting my shorting and my options mixed up there. So let's go for something. Let's say we expect the sell-off to continue. QQQ right now is at, let me get the price of QQQ, 171.70. 171.71 to be exact. All right. I think this is going to continue to go lower. This is a strategy you actually want to be pretty close, because you don't want to hold too long. But again, let's say you're expecting, this to be something to hold for some time, right? We're going through a bearish spell. All right, I believe that. This is what's going to be. So what you'll do is, let me make sure you guys can see it again. Yeah, so we'll go to April 20th. All right, that's the next monthly option. All right. And just like the reverse of the call, I'm going to sell a more expensive put option, right? This is right here. These are the levels. If you got Tasty Trade, you see these are POP, or potential percentage of profit. All right. Or what is it called? Probability. Excuse me. That's a probability of it being there. So obviously the higher bar mean is a lot higher that it's going to be in the money toward expiration. So we're going to sell that one, and we're going to buy a cheaper. We're going to buy a cheaper put option. And let's get another very liquid one. I see you got a lot of liquidity here. We'll go with this one. We'll buy the 178. So these are deep in the money, right? I mean, we're far below 180. So we're going to sell that one, and we're going to buy the 178. That's going to move in value. So our total price, and I think it's better if I show you how much would it cost me if I just wanted to buy the 178 put by itself. So let's go. I wanted to buy the 178 put. It's a deep in the money put. All right, by itself, it would cost me $735 by itself. I would have to extend this money out to buy this option. All right, I'd extend this money out. I want it cheaper. Can you get it cheaper from me, Sal? Yes, I can. We're going to sell a more expensive option. We're going to buy that 178 option. All right, so we're using the 180 to finance our 178 cheaper put option. This is more expensive. All right. So we're going to get a credit. We're going to get a credit back for the fact that we sold this. How does that credit look? I'm going to show you. All right. So now when we go to complete the order, we're going to be given in our account $154 as a credit minus the transaction cost with Tasty Trade is $1. So $154 will be given to us. And the way we keep that is that the price of QQQ, hold on. QQQ is greater than 1, your maximum profit. Hold on. QQ winds up being greater than, hold on, sell put vertical. All right, why is it telling me that? 1 is greater than, your maximum possible profit is 154. If QQQ ends up being less than 178, possible product. Hold on, I have a feeling I didn't set this up right. As you can see, I don't do that too much. Hold on, I didn't set that up right. Hold on. I might have said, I think it might be the reverse. Debit transaction winds up being less. Your maximum possible profit is 5 to 5. No, that was actually right. No, I was right. We're selling, then we're buying, and then we get the credit. Okay, yeah, no, I was right. Okay. I was right. All right, so we get the credit, but the way it works is that QQQ has to stay above where we sold, right? It has to stay above that option where we sold. So right now, it actually would end up, I don't know, the odds of that are probably not very high. And then we would keep that 154. We would keep that 154 profit. So still learning about this, guys. As you can see here, I like the long side better. I'm still learning about this one. I haven't done one just yet. And I can't wait till we start to see that. Let me show you. Let me do one that is more likely. And I'm saying that because I want to show you. This is 171, so we're a bit deeper here. This is what I would want to do. All right. That's why when we're talking about Google, let's go to Google real quick. Because I want to pretend like I'm really going to do this. Oh, hold on. God damn it. Hold on, let me log back in. Hold on, guys. Let me log back in. All right. Because it doesn't have that right password saved. All right. All right, I think I'm back in now. All right. Okay, so this is the screen you get. Y'all all right? Y'all hold it in with me? We're learning together. All right. Y'all still there? Just want to make sure. Okay. You said I did it backwards? Hold on. Let me know, because I want to do something like for real. Like, where's Google at now? So Google's at 1138. 1138.17. So we're going to buy the April 20th. All right. It's at 11. Now, the idea is I want to keep the credit because I think the stock will go back up. So, no, I did it right. I think the stock will go back up. So, it's at 1138. I would sell the 38.20s. And again, Google's not going to, you're barely ever going to see 1,000 or something on this side just because Google's are very expensive, you know, but you'll still complete. As you can see, the spreads are still relatively tight. $1 ain't shit if you're buying Google. And then I'm going to use it to buy the 1130 put, right? And I'm going to get my credit. And let me see how that turns out. Yeah, that's how it works. So yeah, I think the stock is going to go back up. So I keep my $240 credit, right? And this is a very expensive option, right? Because, for example, instead of doing it that way, right, if I just wanted to buy a regular call option, it's at 1138 and I think it's going to go up. I would just buy a regular call. All right, it's going to cost me $3,900. It's going to cost me $3,900. I'd have to put that out, wait for it to go higher, or I can buy this spread and actually get money up front. Sell the 1135, buy the 1130, right? I get the credit. I'd like more money, so I'm going to add more contracts to it because I think this is a high-flying stock and it's going to go higher. So I'm going to put 5 contracts there, all right? And I'm going to review and send, and there it is. I'm going to get $1,200 up front as a credit to my account. And what needs to take place is that if Google winds up being greater than 1132.59, my maximum profit is that 1205. I get to keep that by expiration. I get to keep that. All right? I get to keep that. Now, if that doesn't work out, you get your ass handed to you. Right? Your maximum possible loss is $12.95, which isn't bad, right? Which isn't bad because they're basically just going to take the credit from you minus a few more dollars. So it's not that bad, right? But nobody wants to see that come out of their account. Now, if that money comes into your account, you can't use it. It's there, but you can't use it, right? You can't use it until the actual option is matured and you've gone ahead and completed the trade. All right, so that credit you just can't take the credit and just start spending it. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. All right? Exactly, Ricardo. Right, exactly. So the money gets into your account, right? The money gets into your account. You can't use it because the option is still hanging. But the idea is that you believe that the stock is going to go higher. It's going to go back up, and it's going to stay above that level that you sold at. All right? So as long as Google stays above 1132, I'm keeping that credit. I'm keeping that credit minus the $1, or actually it's going to be $5 because Tasty Trade is $1 per contract. So 1205 minus $5 is 5 contracts. All right. So let's do this on a simpler. All right. Let's say I don't want to commit that much. Okay, that's fine. Well, let's do it real basic for you. Let's just put that 1 contract just to show you what it'll look like with 1 contract. Right. So 1 contract. Right. Baby steps. Review the trade. $240. So $240 goes to the account. All right. $240 goes to the account. All right. If Google winds up being 1132, your maximum possible profit is, your credit. If you lose, all right, below 1132, your maximum possible loss is 260. So your credit minus a few more dollars, about 40, 50 more dollars. All right. So it's not, it's a high, I wouldn't call it a high probability trade because you can very well lose, right? It could very well continue to sell off. All right. It works better for you to have some time on the option. Some guys got balls and they want to do March 16th. And I would never do that because I just think that's just kind of crazy. But let's say you think, right, this is just way too crazy. It's going to be back, or it's going to stay above 1137.50 by Friday. You can sell those 880s, buy the cheaper 1135s. You get a credit, all right? You get the credit, $115, as long as Google stays above 1136.35. Your maximum possible profit is your credit. If Google winds up being less than 1136.35 by Friday, you're going to lose that $115 plus a couple more dollars. All right, plus a couple more dollars. So, it's kind of up to you. It's kind of up to you. You can play it this way. I think that's just too much risk. I think that's just too much risk. But It's really up to you. It's kind of really up to you. All right. So you guys see that? Mainstream McGee, you said you sell when the IV is high and the RSI and CCI signals. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way to do it. I mean, you know, going back to, again, and this is a great way to making very expensive stocks cheap. You know, it's a different way to play going long. I showed you guys a way to play going long where you're just making it cheaper. And today was just a way of going long, but now you're getting your profit up front. Now you see your profit, boom, that's my profit. It's locked in. Now it's just got to hit that number. It's just got to hit that number. So it's either way to play options like a stock. Either way to play options like a stock. And with Google, you know, you can go a little bit further out. We showed you the 1120s. Let's say you want to go further out. You think, oh man, Sal, this is going to be a monster. Google's going to 2,000, or it's going to 1,200. You know, it's going to 1,200. So let's go to some of these Januaries. We can, you got a lot of balls. You can sell the 1,200, buy the 1,190. All right, let's see here. Actually, hold up. Google Red price being, oh well, this is way, oh this is a little too good to be true here. Hold on. If the good winds up being your maximum profit, okay, this is too good to be something. I must have not have put this in right, or maybe I did. I'm second guessing myself, right? Because I did do it right, because they could take the order right now if I put it in. 659 would be your credit minus transaction costs. If Google by January 19 of January of 2019 winds up being greater than 1193.41, yeah, okay, that's right. That's right. I did do that right. If Google winds up being greater than 1193.41, because I said it's going to 1,200, right? Yes, I did. If it's growing greater than 1193.41, your maximum possible profit is $659, which is your credit minus transaction costs. If by January of 2019 the stock is less than 1193.41, your maximum possible loss is $341. So are you telling me that I get to keep like almost 300 of that credit? Because maybe that's all right. I'm gonna have to call to confirm. I'm gonna have to call one of my mentors to confirm that, because this is basically like giving me free money. I'm keeping the credit of 659, but if it doesn't hit 1193, I'm only giving back 341. I'm only giving back 341 of the 659. I'm gonna have to do some research on that one. Because that's basically what they're saying. That's a good trade, though. I know I was just fucking around, but that's actually a really good trade. That's actually a really good fucking trade. I'd have to do some research on that, though. But what were the numbers on that one? What were the numbers on that? Let's go back. The 1,200. We're selling the 1,200 to buy the 1190. Selling the 1,200 to buy the 1190, right? 125.50, right? We're selling to finance the 1190, right? Our credit is $659 for selling a higher, more expensive option to buy a cheaper option. So we're getting that credit. That's our profit up front. That's our profit up front. Obviously, you don't want to wait 9 months for a couple $100, so you're going to add a little bit more to that. You're going to add a little bit more to that. I love 5 or 10. Typically, if you see me on Twitter, I'm only going to buy like 5, 10, 20 options. All right, so let's add a couple more contracts to that. All right. So that looks a lot better. But there, see, that looks very suspicious. I'm keeping 3,300 as my credit. And if it doesn't hit 1193, I'm only giving back 1,700. I'm only giving back 1,700. And my maximum possible profit is 33, but they're giving me the 33 up front. I'm going to have to do some research on that. Life for business, you said that's a lower probability. Yes, it is a lower probability. You're absolutely right. That's a lower probability. We're out the money. That's every out the money call is going to have a lower probability than an in the money call or in the money put. All right. Ricardo, you said it's a steal. Enough said. Absolutely. He said, Ricardo said it's a good for those who have a lot of patience. Here's the thing, though. But I showed you, you can do this. You can do this to expire this week, But again, I think it's ballsy. But again, here's Google, right? Like I said, I was mentioning earlier, I want to go in so bad and do this now, right? Google's at 1138 right now. 1138. Where are we at? 1138. Let's go all the way back. All right. I'd love to buy the 1135 call. All right. So the 1135 call by itself is $1,270. I don't want to put up that kind of money with that kind of time value eroding literally by the second. This expires on Friday. You can end up worthless if this goes below your below 1135. So instead of doing that, I can go ahead and sell the 1137 to buy the cheaper 1135 in the money call. All right, I'm going to go long a different way. All right. I'm going to get $115 on Friday minus my transaction costs if Google winds up being greater than 1136.35. All right. I'll keep this $115. If it goes below 1136.35, my maximum possible loss is 135. So 115 plus a few more dollars. That's how that works. But now I know what I'm gaining up front. It's up front. I see it right there. All right. I see it up there. And all Google has to do is to stay above 1136.35. We're at 1138.17. So that tells me you better expect that this stock is going to bounce for the rest of the week. All right. Add a few more contracts to make this a little bit more interesting for you guys. All right. Let's go with 10. All right. These are cheaper because they're weeklies. All right. Add a few more contracts. There it is. All right. So my profit, 1160 is my credit minus transaction costs if the stock stays, as I said, above 1136.34. If it fucks up, doesn't go my way, stock goes below 1136.34, my maximum profit loss is my credit plus a couple $100 because it's quite expensive option. All right. Obviously, you're playing with more contracts. It's a little bit more risk. That's how that's done. That's how that's done. That's how you play spreads, ladies and gentlemen. I'm learning this weekend. I'm going to learn a little bit more about butterflies. I'll come back and tell you guys about butterflies and whatnot. But I'm looking. I just showed you what I'm looking to do in some of these expensive options like Google. This week, if I can get an opportunity to do so, as long as we don't continue to sell off. But those are the opportunities I'm looking to take advantage of this week or even next week. All right. Yes, indeed. All right. Yeah. Look, I'm not a teacher. I'm just a trader like you. So I'm sure with a little bit more research, a little bit more study, you guys will get it together better. But just as an introduction, I want you guys just to see the concept and you know, take it and figure it out better and how it could work for you. All right. Appreciate you, Kenny Dutton. Let me go ahead and ring the bell, get you guys out of here. All right. Been a great show as always. Great show as always. I'm hoping that the market doesn't continue to sell off, because as I showed you guys, there's quite a bit of profit potential with what could happen with Google, Amazon, and many of these other very expensive options. Yes, indeed, man. Appreciate y'all. There it is. That's the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank you so much. Donzel Essex, Ricardo Joseph, Bat Scientist, man. Thank you so much for the call. Called in twice with great tickers. Charlotte, thank you. Yes, indeed. Learn about these options, man. You know, again, it don't require that much money. I just showed you trades for $100. I guarantee you, when you're buying stocks, you're spending more than $100. You know, giving you opportunities to make, you know, a couple $100 with $1,000. You can start with $1,000 and start trading options just like what we just showed you. You know, learn a little bit more about it, and then come back and tell us, because we're all learning together, right? Cool Cat Beats, George M, Corey Kwan, Waivers 24, thank you, man. K Mac 15, thank you. Carlton, appreciate you, man. Thank you, bro. Andrew, thank you so much. Of course, Ricardo, Joseph, all my callers. Ken, thank you. Gerardo, thank you so much for the call, man. And that indicator, I'm going to do more research on that too. I'm going to be watching that very closely tomorrow. Moneybags, thank you. Shirley Lewis, thank you. Jeff Thayer, the Me Marine, thank you so much, man. Stock Z, Monk, Luigi, thank you so much. Be back same time, same place. We'll see what Trump has to say tomorrow. Who gets fired tomorrow, who knows. Until then, happy trading, everyone. Take care.